Good morning, beach family and friends. Good morning. I am Karyn Scissum Gunn, and I proudly serve as your Provost and Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs here at Cal State Long Beach. I have to start out by giving a shout out and a round of applause to our concert jazz orchestra from the Bob Cole Conservatory of Music. The CJO, as they're known, is led by Director Jeff Jarvis, and the group has had an absolutely remarkable year. In April, they traveled to Folsom to compete in the California State Jazz Championships. They took the top honors in competition and is the Jazz Champion of California for the second consecutive year. We're truly grateful for their willingness to be our opening act this morning. Now, I hope the summer gave you a chance to recharge in the ways you need it most, whether through rest, travel, creative work, reflection, or time with the people and places that restore you. If you experienced challenges, we stand with you in peace and restoration. Today, we return with a renewed purpose and a shared commitment to the year ahead. It's an honor to announce that the 2026-27 academic year is officially called into session. This morning, we're joined by members from every corner of our beach community. From our president, Dr. Loren J. Blanchard. Hey. Our university cabinet. Our dedicated leaders across the campus divisions. Let's just keep clapping. Our visionary academic administrators. Our senior leadership teams, our college deans, associate deans, department chairs, and our world-class faculty members. Of course, our incredible staff members. Our brilliant students. That's our why. Our faithful friends and local supporters of our great institution. No matter how you're connected to, yes, give it up. That's that capital A, capital L, capital L. You all knew I was going to put that in there somewhere. No matter how you're connected to Cal State Long Beach, whether you're here or in person, or tuning in online, we're so glad you're with us. Thank you all for being a part of the beach, and welcome to all. I hope we take a moment to look ahead with purpose. With purpose. To reconnect with one another and remember the work that brings us together at the beach. Thank you for all the ways you support our students and strengthen this university. Whether your work happens in the classroom, in an office, in a lab, in the field, or behind the scenes, it matters. It's because of your dedication that we continue to move forward as a beach community. So let us enter this year with energy, with care, and a shared belief in what we will accomplish together. Before diving deeper into our program, let's pause in reverence to acknowledge that Cal State Long Beach is located on the sacred site of Pavangna. We acknowledge that we are on the land of the Tongva, Gabrieleño, and the Ahashiman Waneño nations, those who lived and continue to live here today. We recognize the Tongva, Ahashiman nations and their spiritual connection as the first stewards and the traditional caretakers of this land. We thank them for their strength, perseverance, and resistance. We say thank you. Friends, Convocation is a cherished beach tradition. It's our moment to convene as a community, to set the tone for a new academic year, to share our aspirations, and to look ahead with purpose. This year is especially meaningful as we welcome a new chapter of leadership with Dr. Loren J. Blanchard's arrival. Dr. Blanchard has been with us since May 1st, and he has already shown how he leads, and that's with care, purpose, and humanity. He has found time on his calendar to attend campus events, to meet with staff, faculty, and student groups, and to build relationships with our community members. It's clear that he recognizes and demonstrates the significance that every member of the Beach community brings. We'll all be excited to hear from and be inspired by President Blanchard in our program. Now, we also have some other cherished guests with us today. Each year, we select extraordinary Beach students as recipients of the prestigious President's Scholarship. This highly recognized program, both in the state and nationwide, prepares these bright minds for success on our campus and beyond. Now, President Scholars, please let us know where you are so you can be recognized. Where are you? Please stand if you're able. Thank you, scholars, and congratulations, and thank you for representing the Beach. You may be seated. Another highly celebrated group joining us remotely are our very special Long Beach College Promise students. The Promise makes a possibility, a college education for each student in the Long Beach Unified School District. This is a transformational program, people. And it is a feature effort for the Beach toward creating greater access to education for all. We're excited for you, our Promise students, and remember, we're cheering for you. Welcome, virtually, our Long Beach College Promise students. Thank you, Beach family, for joining us and celebrating some of the incredible students here with us today. Convocation is a reminder to reconnect with our students as they are our North Star, our why for everything we do. Now I'm excited to invite some other voices to the program. Excuse me. Some other voices are right on point at this time. Who will share their vision for the new year. Please help me welcome to the stage our Academic Senate Chair, Dr. Neil Hultgren. Dr. Hultgren is a professor in the Department of English and is a champion and advocate for our Beach faculty. As you've already started, continue your round of applause as Dr. Hultgren now takes the podium.
Thank you. Thank you for the introduction, Provost Scissum Gunn. As the Provost said, I'm Neil Hultgren. I'm here, I'm not yet a bot, and I've been an English professor at CSULB for 19 years. I'm honored to be starting my 4th year as chair of our Academic Senate, and I'm happy to say to all of you today, welcome to the academic year 2026-2027. Thank you. In case you're unfamiliar with us, the Academic Senate is the main shared governance body at CSULB, a diverse, deliberative group of students, staff, administrators, and faculty. California law defines shared governance as, quote, joint decision-making and consultation between administration and faculty or academic employees, unquote. The law elaborates that shared governance, quote, is essential to the performance of the educational missions, end quote, of our institutions. Let me emphasize for you today, we are more than a faculty senate. On our campus, the Senate is the only organization where most members are democratically elected and where all campus constituencies have a voice and vote on policies and other matters. The Senate works cooperatively for 2 meetings each month to develop policies and procedures and make recommendations to implement improvements across all areas of campus life. Though I will say we are not responsible for the vending machine that mysteriously makes artisanal pizza. We cannot take credit for that. Today, on behalf of the Academic Senate, I am thrilled to welcome our new president, Dr. Loren J. Blanchard, as he leads our campus into the future. In the time since he joined us in May, I have admired President Blanchard's careful organization, his broad engagement with our community, and his clear articulation of a vision. The Academic Senate looks forward to being part of the new wave of student success that the President and Provost are spearheading for this year. As part of our collective responsibility to help our students succeed, one of the Senate's efforts, an effort requested by our students, I want to emphasize that, is to revise our campus's syllabus policy so that it requires that faculty syllabi state expectations related to the use of artificial intelligence. The appropriate and acceptable use of AI differs widely depending on the discipline, type, and level of a course. So we should ensure that individual instructors clarify their expectations for each individual class. We are also working to streamline the grade appeal process so students with appeals are not delayed as they move towards graduation. These are the kinds of improvements we hope to implement deliberately and collaboratively. As CSULB moves forward in our student success work by foregrounding intellectual achievement and inclusive excellence, I encourage everyone to remain committed to these goals. As a community, we must focus on student learning, even when some mandates we receive risk sidelining actual learning and inclusion. For instance, our system-wide access to AI can bring new opportunities, to be sure, but we must not risk what sociologist Heather Hacks has labeled, quote, outsourcing cognitive labor, end quote, among our students. Among our students and among faculty, administrators, and staff. While our emphasis on job training is integral to preparing students for a changing future, we should remember that jobs, careers, and people are rarely entirely aligned. In the words of education theorist Bell Hooks, quote, to teach in a manner that respects and cares for the souls of our students is essential if we are to provide the necessary conditions where learning can most deeply and intimately begin, unquote. As a campus, we are educating people. Our country's future will only be viable if the students we graduate are engaged, informed, critical, and passionate individuals. Now, on with the academic year, and just because I know you all love it, go Beach. Thank you. I'm honored now to welcome our Staff Council Chair, Karyn Ryan. Karyn is Senior Academic Affairs Facilities Specialist at CSULB. She's also an academic senator. She is a valued leader on our campus. This year, she is once again proud to represent our staff members. Please welcome Karyn Ryan.
Welcome to everybody preparing for another year. And of course, hello again to my fellow staff members. I'm privileged once again to have the opportunity to say a few words to and on behalf of staff in my third and final year as Staff Council Chair. And this year I have a great analogy to lean into, the rising tide of student success, because we love an analogy in higher education. Connecting to student success can be tricky business for a lot of staff. And it's not difficult to connect to the heart of it and the importance of the mission. Surrounded by education and educators, research, learning, surrounded by more than 40,000 students, it's easy to find daily reminders of why our unified goal is student success. It's not tough to believe in the value of higher education, to understand our value as a public university, or to recognize that we are the North Star of the CSU system. For many of us, the value of education is also enhanced by personal knowledge, from either having had the experience or sometimes from not having had the experience. The thing is that we have several thousand staff on campus, and only a small percentage have the privilege and the responsibility of face-to-face interaction with students. To those staff, counselors, advisors, mentors, coaches, event leads, department coordinators, I want to say a special thank you from all of us for being our face. Thank you for being the smile, the calm, the steady path for students. But in the multitudes of us as staff, we have far more faces that are not seen, doing tasks that aren't necessarily a direct connect to student success. We have data analysts creating algorithms to help guide enrollment cycles. And we have IT techs that are protecting us from phishing and making compliant websites. And we have custodial services in the wee hours of the morning preparing. And I thank you for applauding for them, because you know they're out there working right now. They're preparing our spaces. And it's those hidden figures among us that might not always recognize the impact of our work and how it impacts student success. So if we take this handy depiction of the ocean, where do you see yourself? There's so many things in this ecosystem. Some of them are the sharks for sure. How about that friendly sea turtle? Dude's crushing it. Maybe you relate to the octopus, so flexible, so intelligent, and 3 hearts. But maybe this. Or not so much this, but this. And let me explain. Plankton. Why would I relate to plankton? Phytoplankton in the ocean are almost invisible, yet absolutely essential. They actually produce over half of the Earth's oxygen, more than all of the sea kelp forests combined. They also absorb enormous amounts of carbon dioxide, essentially helping to manage the climate. And maybe not the best case for this particular analogy, but plankton are the base of nearly every food chain in marine life. The tiniest organisms actually sustain the largest creatures. Krill feed on plankton, and blue whales, the largest animals on Earth, feed on krill. People don't go to the aquarium to see plankton. They're not the cover story. In the ocean, the importance of plankton isn't measured by their visibility. It's measured in their small, consistent action that consistently supports the entire ecosystem. There's no healthy ocean without plankton, just like there is no student success without staff. As we embark on another year, I say to you, my fellow plankton and other ocean life, remember in the moments that you feel outside the circle of student success, you may not be the big fish, but you are critical. You are foundationally necessary. And in your everyday quiet acts of care, competence, and commitment to this university, you bring life, oxygen, and health to our campus ecosystem, and you bring possibility to student success. I wish you absolutely the best here, and absolutely, of course, go Beach! Thank you. Now I have the honor of introducing our ASI president, Sunny Ciampa. Sunny is a dynamic fourth-year undergraduate student majoring in political science with a strong desire to pursue a career in politics. He's passionate about student advocacy and is proud to represent Beach students in his second term as ASI president. Please welcome to the stage, Sunny Ciampa.
To adjust this mic, make sure it's my height because I'm so tall. All right. Good morning, everyone. My name is Sunny Ciampa, and it is an incredible honor to serve a second term as your ASI president. Every fall, Convocation reminds us that a new academic year is more than a date on a calendar. It's a fresh beginning. New students arrive with big dreams, return students come back with new goals, and together we have the opportunity to make this a great year for our Long Beach State students. However, this year feels especially significant. Long Beach State is entering a new chapter. We welcome new university leadership, and we continue building one of the largest capital projects in our history. And together, we have the opportunity to build the next generation of the student experience at Long Beach State. As a student body president, I have the privilege of hearing directly from our students every single day. While every student's story is different, they all want many of the same things. Students want to feel like they belong. They want opportunities to lead, to connect, to grow, and to know that the people around them generally care about their success. That is exactly what I want this year to be about. When I first came here to Long Beach State as a commuter student, I was unsure where I would fit in. As a student with a disability, doing with a lot of things, it was kind of scary to approach people and be around people. However, one day I stopped at a student government table, and someone invited me to get involved. That one person changed my life forever. That simple conversation really changed the direction of my entire college experience and inspired me to get involved here at Cal State Long Beach. Today, because of the opportunities this university gave me, I have the privilege of standing here and being your ASI president, and not only once, but twice. It is a reminder that one conversation, one invitation, or one opportunity can completely change a student's life forever. That's why my priorities this year are simple. First, I want every student to feel like they have a place here. As we continue through the second year of the University Student Union closure, I want every student to know that a sense of belonging is not simply defined by one building. Whether through student organizations, campus traditions, ASI programs, simply finding a community, every student deserves to know that they belong right here at Long Beach State. Second, I want to continue supporting students through basic needs. Prior to becoming the ASI president, I relied heavily on our beach pantry for food almost every single day. I would go there all the time. I understand firsthand that student success depends more than just on academics. When students have access to food, wellness resources, and support services, they are better able to thrive both inside and outside of the classroom. Yes. And finally, I want us to continue preparing for the future. The University Student Union remains under construction, but I see this year as an opportunity to continue strengthening our campus community while preparing for what comes next. Every day brings us closer to the student union that will serve generations of Long Beach State students. The building will be new, but what makes Long Beach State so special has just never been about the buildings. It's really about the people. Us right here is what makes Long Beach State so special. To our new president, Dr. President Blanchard, welcome to the beach. We are so excited to partner with you and build the future of this incredible university. And to our faculty and staff, thank you. Thank you for believing in our students, challenging them, encouraging them, and showing up for them every single day. You may never know the impact of a conversation after class, a word of encouragement, or an open office door policy, but those moments stay with students long after the classroom. And I can tell you those conversations have stayed with me for a long time, so the impact is really there. This year's theme is Rising Tide. To me, that means more than just moving forward together. Not because change is easy, but because we believe in where we're going. I'm excited for what we'll accomplish together this year, and I'm proud to represent more than 40,000 students who called Long Beach State their home. Thank you, have a wonderful academic year, and as always, go Beach!
Wow, thank you, Sonny, for your inspiring words and for sharing your story. Our students are so lucky to have you twice as their advocate once again this year. And now it is my distinct pleasure to introduce the president of California State University, Long Beach, Dr. Loren J. Blanchard. Dr. Blanchard joined the Beach on May 1st after serving for 5 years as president of the University of Houston downtown. During his tenure there, the university more than doubled its annual fundraising portfolio and earned national recognition from the Wall Street Journal as one of America's best colleges, ranking #1 in diversity and #3 in the student experience nationally. His leadership is widely recognized as strategic, inclusive, and deeply grounded in a commitment to student success. Before leading UHD, Dr. Blanchard served for 6 years as Executive Vice Chancellor for Academic and Student Affairs at our very own California State University Office of the Chancellor, where he played a critical role in advancing the Graduation Initiative 2025. That was the CSU's 10-year effort to improve student achievement and close equity gaps. As we look ahead to the next wave of student success at the Beach, we are most fortunate to have a leader who understands the CSU system, the evolving landscape of higher education, and the extraordinary promise of this campus community. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Loren J. Blanchard, President of Cal State Long Beach.
Well, good morning, Beach community. Thank you so much, Provost Scissum, Gunn, and thanks as well to our shared governance leaders, certainly Academic Senate Chair, Dr. Neil Hultgren, Staff Council Chair, Ms. Colleen Ryan, ASI President, Mr. Sonny Chiampa, for really helping to open this convocation and for the leadership that you provide to this university on a daily basis. To everyone present here in this auditorium and certainly watching live stream as well, thank you for taking the time to join us. Convocation really gives us the opportunity to begin the new academic year together, to be able to reconnect and celebrate our accomplishments and look honestly ahead at what the work is that lies ahead. This is, of course, my first convocation as president of Cal State Long Beach, and I do not take this lightly. I come to this moment with tremendous gratitude and humility, and with a deep respect for the work that has already made this university such a consequential place. You're going to hear a lot about student success today. You already have. It is my guiding light and has been for the 3.5 decades that I have served in higher education. Student success is really personal to me, and I want to share with you why that is. I consider myself fortunate in that I was the first in my family to attend college and to complete college. With that stated, I never felt lost, or perhaps I should say I never felt unsupported. That's largely due to my parents. My father, Raymond, who has been deceased for over 30 years and was a machine technician at Borton's Milk Company in Lake Charles, Louisiana, where I grew up. And my 92-year-old mother, Teresa, who lives at the Miller House with me and my partner of 29 years, Byron. Byron is actually here with us today. Byron, would you please stand and say hello to the New Beach community? As my parents never finished college, they often felt underprepared to really help my sister and me with our academic work. While I always found them to be the best teachers, they found ways to compensate for their insecurities, largely through building a support system around my sister and me. They recruited my cousins, who lived just a stone's throw away from us, to be our tutors. And they made sure that when we selected classmates as study partners, they had to be the very best. My parents also believed in the unique power of mentorship, and they found ways for me to meet and volunteer with professionals of color all around Lake Charles. I spent quality time with medical doctors, lawyers, teachers, school principals, social workers, musicians, you name it, I was there with them. My father would often say to me, I want you to know the possibilities, the world of possibilities that lie ahead for you as an adult in the professional world. Your mother and I want nothing more than your life and your sister's life to be better than ours. And we know that education is key to making that happen. Even before the term socioeconomic mobility was coined, my parents understood the importance of climbing the social and economic ladders. And as parents during the civil rights era, they fully embraced the power of higher education in uplifting not only individuals, but entire communities as well. That foundation of mentoring and support followed me throughout my time as an undergraduate at Xavier University of Louisiana. It followed me through the people who continued to cross my path. People who believed in me, challenged me, fed me, opened doors for me, expected more from me, and made me see more in myself than I ever thought possible. So I know a bit about what it means to have people believe in you, even when it appears that the odds are not in your favor. Creating an environment that supports student success has been and always will be paramount to me. For many of you, my story may not sound unlike the stories of students you've met through your work, or even unlike your own story. And I begin there for that very reason. Every student who comes to Cal State Long Beach brings with them a story. Some arrive in our halls with strong systems of support already built around them. Some are still searching for that support. Some are the first in their families and communities to navigate college life. Some are working long hours or taking some combination of bus and bike to reach us. Some are caring for children, parents or grandparents. Some are returning after time away to finish a long-held goal, like the 88-year-old gentleman I met on our commencement stage back in May. Some are carrying financial pressures, food insecurity, housing insecurity, mental health concerns, or the quiet weight of wondering whether they truly belong. They come here with that story, and they come here with talent. They come here with belief. They come here with purpose. Our collective responsibility is to meet their talent, belief, and purpose with our structure, care, and expectation. Student success can certainly be displayed in charts and tables, though it cannot be reduced to only numbers. It cannot be reduced to the work of one office, or one program, or one division, or one initiative. Student success is a moral compact that we make with our students and their families. It begins when the door opens, and as we did all summer long with SOAR, and it must continue throughout their time here. We collectively, faculty, staff, students, alums, we must help our students persist. We must help them get to graduation. We must help them leave Cal State Long Beach with a degree of life-altering value. Let me say this as well. We are on solid footing when it comes to student success. This university has already been a place where the work that allows students' success to take root in serious and measurable ways. Some years ago, across the CSU system, campuses were challenged through the Graduation Initiative 2025 to raise graduation rates while eliminating equity gaps. That work asked our then 23 institutions to look very honestly at the structures, the barriers, the policies and practices that impacted the experience of our students across the state and that impact they were having in getting more of them to timely degree completion while simultaneously closing equity gaps. Genuine progress was made here at the beach during that time. That didn't happen by accident. It happened through serious diligence. It happened because faculty strengthened their teaching, mentoring, research, and creative activities. It happened because staff worked to help students understand systems that can be difficult to navigate, even for those of us who work inside of them. It happened because faculty, staff, and administration from across campus got together and asked a difficult question. What is getting in the way of our students' progress, and what can we change to make it better? That is work worth honoring. That is work worth continuing. So as we look ahead, we must have precision in our definition of student success. Improving graduation rates matter. It matters a great deal, in fact. But raising graduation rates alone does not automatically close equity gaps. If some groups of students progress faster than others, the overall graduation rate may improve while inequity remains. A university can become more successful in the aggregate and still leave too many students behind. If we are really serious about student success, we must also be serious about equity. Closing equity gaps is not separate from student success. Equity asks whether our systems work for all students. It asks whether support is reaching the students who need it most. It asks whether we are measuring averages or fulfilling the truest aspects of our mission. That is the standard we should be holding ourselves to here at Cal State Long Beach. The work that allows student success is most powerful when it looks at the conditions around our students. Graduation Initiative 2025, you might recall, was organized around 6 pillars: academic preparation, enrollment management, student engagement and well-being, financial aid, data-driven decision-making, and removing policy barriers. In plainer language, that simply meant helping students start strong, getting them the courses that they need, strengthening belonging, wellness, and wraparound supports, reducing financial pressures beyond their state and federal support, using data to identify potential issues early, and rethinking campus policies and procedures that might hinder students' progress. Those pillars were not abstractions. They are the daily work of a student-ready university. When that work is done well, students feel it. They experience one university prepared, coordinated, and responsive to their success. They may not know the name of the individual initiative or the office working on it, but they know when a course becomes available when they need it. They know when an advisor helps them move down the right path. They know when a faculty member sees their talent and draws them into a research project. They know when a staff member solves a problem that almost became a crisis. They know when a university feels like a place designed for them to succeed. And they know when a university responds to a concern they raise the first time that it is expressed. This is the standard. And I want to say this clearly as well. A student-focused university is created by people. Student success is not possible without the dedicated work of faculty and staff across this campus. No matter your role, you heard this already earlier this morning, your work matters to our students. You are vital to their success. That is why in these early months, I keep returning to the language of our mission statement. Anyone who has heard me thus far make remarks since I began here has likely heard me talk about a certain word in our mission statement that stays with me. That word is superior. Our mission statement says that we provide superior teaching, research, creative activity, and action for the public good. Superior is a strong word. And I want to be clear about how I understand it. Superior does not mean that we see ourselves as better than others. It does not mean institutional arrogance. It does not mean we rest on our reputation. To me, superior is a call to be better than the status quo. I would even say better than excellent. It is a standard of practice, responsibility, and service that we embody here at Cal State Long Beach. It represents our authentic edge. So if we apply it to student success, then superior cannot mean that some students thrive while others are left behind. It cannot mean that graduation rates rise while equity gaps remain. It cannot mean that we celebrate access without attending to completion, belonging, preparation, and ensuring our degree is one of real value. The next phase of our work around student success will require us to build from that superior place. You should be proud of the work that has been accomplished here thus far, and we must continue delivering work that we are indeed proud of. Our students deserve nothing less. The question we must ask ourselves moving forward is simply this: how do we deepen the commitment that we so clearly have to our students who are here now and our future students? Yes, it means we must continue to focus on persistence and graduation. We must also ask the value of the degree that we impart. Are our students leaving with the knowledge and experience to lead in their professions? Are they building the relationships, confidence, and sense of purpose that will sustain them after they graduate? Are our students optimally prepared to be globally informed citizens? And what support do our faculty and staff need to do this work continuously better? That is where the next phase of our strategic planning work becomes integral. At its best, and you know this, a strategic plan helps us make choices. It helps us decide what to protect, what to strengthen, what to change, what to measure, and where we should be collectively focused. Beach 2030 helped this university imagine a future organized around student engagement, access, intellectual achievement, community, and resilience. There is important work that should rightly be celebrated as it relates to Beach 2030. Now we must ask, what should be carried forward? What should be refined? And what new commitments are required for the next era of this university's history? I'm also taking time to consider the role of our presidential commissions in this next phase. Their work should help us listen carefully, surface important questions, and align more closely with priorities that we shape together as a community. That process must include listening to everyone: students, faculty, staff, alumni, and community partners. It must be honest, focused, inclusive, and it must lead to action. You will hear more soon about opportunities to get involved in listening sessions that we will use to make decisions on where we will go next as a campus community. There is an immense wealth of knowledge right here in this room that I'm well aware of, and I can't wait to listen intently to learn as much as possible from you, with the goal of using the information gathered to shape the direction of our next strategic plan. I am grateful to all of you for the work that you do each day to change the lives of the 42,000 students who have entrusted their future to us. That is no small feat, and you are doing it pretty damn well in my humble estimation. To close, I'd like to return to where I began my talk today. I was and continue to be fortunate to have people in my life who believed in me, who expected something of me, who opened doors, and who helped me understand that education was not only about my future, it was also about the future of my family and the communities that I would serve. Many of our students come here needing that same intentionality. They need champions. They need systems that work well. They need expectations and real support in meeting them. They need us to care enough about ourselves so that we can improve our campus where it needs improvement. When I speak about being superior, it isn't simply a slogan. Frankly, in my estimation, it's a discipline. It's a way of teaching, a way of serving, a way of listening, a way of supporting, and a way of measuring whether our mission is reaching the students who need it most. The stories I have shared this morning illustrate what it means to leave a mark on another person, to help them feel seen, to stand by their side, and ultimately to change the course of someone's life. That is our work here together at California State University, Long Beach. Let us begin from a place of strength. Let us support one another in the work that is to come. And let us prepare our students to lead, serve, and lift others. And let us be superior in that continued pursuit. Thank you so much, Long Beach State. You mean so much to me. Go Beach.
Thank you, President Blanchard, for such a thoughtful and inspiring message, and for grounding student success in both your personal story and a clear sense of shared responsibility for this campus. Your reminder that student success is far more than graduation rates, but it also requires a focus on equity, belonging, strong support systems, and a degree of lasting value. That gives us important thoughts to carry forward. Your call for each of us to be champions for our students, to hold high expectations while providing meaningful support, and to help every student feel seen and capable of succeeding was particularly powerful, sir. Thank you for challenging and inspiring us to build on our strengths and continue creating a university where every student has the opportunity to thrive. Thank you. Friends, you've heard and seen reference to our theme for this year's convocation and beyond, Rising with the Tide, a new wave of student success at the beach. This theme invites us to ask an important question. What does a new wave of student success mean? And what does it require of us? In part, a new wave of student success means a reflection on the last 10 years' efforts to support our students' timely graduation in equitable ways. That focus was largely channeled through the CSU-wide Graduation Initiative 2025, best known as GI 2025, that President Blanchard spoke about. What raises our next student tide, the new wave, if you will? It means learning from our achievements from GI 2025, identifying where we have more work to do, and reprogramming how we redefine student success. That means not just graduating our students, but pursuing a promise that every student will graduate with the opportunity for a first career job and/or a clear path to further study. That promise is the core of the CSU's new wave of student success, organized into what you will learn is called our new Student Success Framework. Our campus will be leaning into this new Student Success Framework, what it envisions, and how it will be used, how we will learn from GI 2025 and our prior work therein to power this campus to achieve our goals for our students. Now, that's the planning part of the new wave. The truth is, every Beach student foreseen in this framework is a priceless, unique success story. They each bring their own lived experiences, sources of motivation, and hopes for themselves, their families, and their communities. So while our promise to every student is their success, the ways in which the Beach supports each student cannot be a one-size-fits-all. For some students, success begins with finding a sense of belonging. For others, it begins with understanding how to navigate college, how to ask for help, how to manage competing responsibilities, or how to imagine a future they may not have seen modeled before. For others, success begins with the expectation that the Beach will support multi-generational, personal, and professional achievement and advancement. And just as students experience success differently, each of us contributes to their success differently. Faculty, you support our students through piquing their curiosity and investing in discovery, teaching, mentorship, scholarship, creative activity, curricular ideas, and the collegial intellectual communities you create, all ultimately to support our students' learning and growth. Staff, you support our students through operational expertise, care, guidance, problem solving, coordination, and the myriad ways you help the university function day after day. Administrators, we support our students by carefully stewarding our mission, envisioning what's possible, aligning planning with resources, removing barriers, strengthening systems, and creating the conditions that allow all within this community to thrive. Alumni and friends of the university, you bring forward resources, service, commitment, and opportunity, tapping into your love of and admiration for the Beach as partners in pursuing our mission. And to our students, you bring your hopes and dreams, efforts, persistence, willingness to learn, and your trust in this institution as a pathway toward a promising future. That is why we say student success is a campus responsibility, friends. That is what we mean by a culture of student success. Using Colleen's graphic, can you see yourselves in this community of excellence? We're all part of the fabric of this vision, all of us, together. That means a culture of student success does not belong to one office, or one group, or one college, one division, one program, or one initiative. It's an ethos, a belief system, a way of doing our work together as a community. It requires us to move in a shared direction, even when our own roles, perspectives, and approaches may be different. When we approach one another with mutual respect, a willingness to listen, to be self-reflective, and to value others' points of view, our differences can enrich and strengthen this work. This can help us to see our students more fully, ask better questions, and design better solutions. So in this spirit, I asked our campus vice presidents what they want to share with you about their areas and how they're collaboratively contributing to advancing student success. And I'm happy to take a few moments to share their quotes in no particular order. Dan Montoya, our Vice President for University Relations and Development, shared, and I quote, "Last year, the Beach community invested $62 million in this university, the highest fundraising total in our history. And not $1 of it began with an ask. It began with people who came to know us, who grew proud of us, who felt connected here, chose to participate, and ultimately trust us with what they value most: awareness, pride, connection, participation, trust. That is the relationship pathway, and it is how a culture of philanthropy is built. Philanthropy, in its original sense, is the practice of love for humanity translated into action. Fundraising is a function. Philanthropy is a culture. When the culture is strong, the tide rises for every boat at the beach. University Relations and Development will carry this message across campus all year, but we can't build a culture alone. It takes all of us. So we're excited about the year to come and looking forward to partnering with our campus community on a successful year. Go Beach, end quote. Next, Beth Lesson, our Vice President for Student Affairs, shared, and I quote, "Student Affairs continues to promote inclusive excellence, strengthen student health and safety, and remove financial and academic barriers to achievement. This fall, we will open La Playa Hall, providing the first 424 affordable student housing beds to our campus. And we were awarded a $400,000 college-focused rapid rehousing grant to further address housing affordability for our students. Our student parents have received life-changing support through a $1.8 million in subsidies through the ASI Isabel Patterson Development Center. Through the Black Excellence Right experience, which is called the B, it's a summer bridge program, we are creating a foundation for belonging and academic success. Through the Dream Service Initiative grant, CSULB is #1 in California for providing internships to undocumented students. And through Guardian Scholars, we now serve more current and former foster youth than any other CSU campus. We are equipping students with new tools that put better information directly into their hands. The unified transcript will bring credit and non-credit learning together in one comprehensive record for both academic and professional accomplishments. The system-wide degree audit, planner, and schedule builder will help each student more effectively navigate their path toward graduation. And programs like TRIO, Student Support Services, and others provide deep personalization, resulting in a 91% graduation rate, 94% continuous enrollment rate, and 96% rate of good academic standing. And because student success depends on student well-being, Student Health Services and the College of Health and Human Services are translating scholarship into real-world health interventions that support student well-being, like providing Narcan training and fentanyl test strip distribution to students. Together, these efforts reflect how Student Affairs is reimagining student success and giving every student the opportunity to thrive, end quote. Next, Scott Appel, our Vice President for Administration and Finance, shared, and I quote, "The Division of Administration and Finance is proud to partner with Academic Affairs and Student Affairs to create a welcoming, functional, and student-centered space and spaces that support learning and engagement. During the past year, DAF, as that division is called, modernized and refreshed classrooms and learning environments, advanced major capital projects such as the University Student Union and La Playa Residence Hall, and collaborated across divisions to enhance the student service experience through our Beach Central Expansion Project, which centralized student walk-up services. These investments reflect our shared commitment to providing students with safe, accessible, and inspiring spaces where they can learn, connect, and thrive," end quote. And Brian Jackson, our interim vice president for the Information of Technology, shared, and I quote, "The Division of Information Technology advances student success by delivering secure, accessible, and innovative technology services that support teaching, learning, research, and campus life. Through modernization of core systems, responsible adoption of artificial intelligence, enhanced cybersecurity, and equitable access to digital tools, Do It, as that division is named, helps remove barriers, expand opportunities, and create flexible, connected experiences that enable every student to thrive. Recent student success initiatives include the AI-enhanced Canvas course Copilot, the high-performance computing environment to support advanced student research, and significant work to improve accessibility of campus web pages and digital resources to ensure all students have equitable access to information," end quote. Thank you to all our division vice presidents, Dan, Beth, Scott, and Brian, for sharing your perspectives and the work happening in each of your areas to move the needle on student success at the beach. Can you please stand so we can see you and recognize you? And in academic affairs, we have much to celebrate. Our Beach EDGE program, and EDGE is the acronym for Expedited Degrees in Graduate Education. That program celebrated its first dual degree graduates in the spring. The program launched in 2024 and enables undergraduates to simultaneously earn credits for both bachelor's and master's degrees. Under the leadership of Graduate Studies, it now lays out 31 degree paths and counting. This growth further affirms our commitment to social mobility and access. The Provost Graduation Incentive Award helps students reach timely degree completion by funding up to 8 units of summer coursework. This allows eligible students to complete their degrees without delaying graduation until the following fall. This program started in 2016 and to date has supported more than 1,500 students completing their degrees on time. Yes. This year, our Data Fellows program celebrated 10 years of data-informed impact. This program creates a space where faculty, staff, students, and administrators can convene to research challenging questions facing higher education. It is one of the university's longest-running professional learning communities, dedicated to understanding student success through institutional data. To date, more than 430 beach communities have participated in the program. And I must take the opportunity to thank our university library and their leadership, the wonderful team. Yes. The wonderful team who serves an average of nearly 5,000 visitors every day. The library has become one of the key places on campus where students can find community, study, and complete their assignments. The library also received major federal funding this year, totaling $2.175 million, secured by United States Representative and Beach alum Robert Garcia. This funding will build a future Long Beach research center and will modernize and digitize university archives. There is so much incredible work happening across all areas of our campus, and all of this work contributes to advancing student success. So as we look toward the future, what will this new wave of student success require of us? Our next segment will feature our emerging campus framework for student success. You'll learn more details about our past achievements through the concluding GI 2025 and the work we have yet to do forward. You'll be introduced to the CSU's new Student Success Framework and the CSU Promise's ultimate commitment to all of our students. So think of this as our what? The new Student Success Framework is grounded in clear guiding principles: student-centric, equity-driven, data-informed, collaborative, and transparent. I see these as the how, as we continue supporting our students' success to their graduation and beyond. That's into that first career job or continuing their subject mastery through further study. What will be important to think about during this presentation and beyond is that all of us are contributing in indirect ways, in direct ways, in myriad ways, moving our campus student success efforts forward. Beautiful, well-kept grounds are inspiring. Taking down policy and procedural barriers eases anxiety. Giving the best information the first time saves time. Seeing teams competing on the fields and courts of play builds shared pride. Taking the time to write, "Way to go," or "Let's work on this together," on a student's assignment is its own kind of motivation. And so many other examples. Every daily action we take from our responsibilities on this campus ultimately bubble up to our students' experiences, whether they decide to stay or leave, their advancements, engagement, sense of self-awareness and responsibility, resilience, and ultimately their success to move on to their next great thing in life. This, friends, is our collective why at the beach. So to our faculty, thank you for the academic excellence, mentorship, creativity, and care you bring to our students' learning. To our staff, thank you for the expertise, the problem solving, and dedication that keeps this university moving forward. To our campus administrators and academic and other divisional leaders, thank you for helping align people, programs, resources, and vision in service of our students. And to our entire beach community, thank you for believing in the transformative power of the beach. This is an incredible university. Together, we're rising with the tide. Together, we're sharing and shaping a new wave of student success at the beach. Thank you. So at this time, we're going to take a deeper dive into the student success story here at the beach. As you think about the information you're about to hear and continue thinking about it after today, I invite each of us to ask and note questions such as, how do I see the various steps in what I do every day leading to impacting our students' success? What's maybe one practice I can strengthen? Who is one student I can encourage? Not a student I already know or mentor, but who else can I identify and encourage? Now that I know more about this campus framework, what can I do in my work that makes a positive impact? And now, Beach family, I yield the floor to the co-chairs of the Student Success Framework Implementation Task Force, Dr. Pei-Fong Hung, Vice Provost for Academic Programs and Academic Affairs, and Dr. Jeff Claus, Associate Vice President for Student Affairs and Dean of Students.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Pei-Fong Hung, Vice Provost for Academic Programs, and I have had the privilege to serve as the co-chair of the new Presidential Student Success Framework Task Force, along with my colleague here, Dr. Jeff Claus, Associate Vice President of Student Affairs and Dean of Students. Before we begin to dive in, we also wanted to recognize and thank Dr. Evelyn Claus, Chris Fowler, and Dr. Catherine Ward for their work in developing the presentation we are going to sharing with you today. The new CSU Student Success Framework built on the comprehensive stakeholder input gathered across the CSU during 2024-2025 engagement year. It established a clear and unified directions for student success across all 22 CSU universities. And that ambition, besides its framework, is very significant. The CSU seeks to become a national model for student success, improving opportunity outcome gaps, strengthening career readiness, and advancing society and social mobility for all CSU students. What Jeff and I are going to share with you today is to introduce that framework, and we will connect that to the work already happening here at Cal State Long Beach. And so we invite each one of us to consider the role we play in advancing student success. So as Provost Scissum mentioned earlier, student success is not the work of one division, one office, one college, one unit, or one office, or a particular one group. It is the outcome of our collective effort. So we will introduce that. So Jeff is going to continue.
Thank you, Pei-Fong. All right, so what are we going to cover? First, the Graduation Initiative 2025. Excuse my voice, soccer season has started, and I didn't have the luxury of going to our music department and learning how to properly use my voice. So we're going to take a quick look back at GI 2025. What is the new Student Success Framework, in case you are not aware? What's its vision, the guiding principles, and what is the CSU promise? The commitments, the student experience, and our campus strategies. We will also take a look at the key performance indicators to see what measurements we need. And finally, a call to action, where we'll ask all of you to consider a pledge.
Thank you. So as President Blanchard shared earlier, in 2015, the CSU launched Graduation Initiative 2025. It was an ambitious system-wide effort focused on 3 goals: increasing graduation rates, eliminating equity gaps in degree completion, and helping meet California's workforce needs. GI 2025 gave the CSU and each one of our CSU campuses a shared set of goals around student success. And as we close that chapter, the new student success framework builds on that work and then takes us into the new phase. So before we look ahead, we wanted to take a moment to recognize how much progress we have already made together. Those numbers represent the work of our students, faculty, staff, advisors, and so many others across the university. As you can see, our 4-year graduation rate for first-time, first-year students surpassed our GI 2025 goal of 39%. So we reached 41.3%. And when we take a longer view, the progress is even more striking. Between the year 2011 and 2021 cohorts, our 4-year graduation rate for first-time, first-year students increased by 24.6%. And we also saw the 4-year graduation rate for our Black and Latinx students tripled during that period. This is a real progress, and this is something our campus community should be proud of. Thank you. And now the CSU is asking us to build on that progress. As you can see on the table, the new targets raise the bar. For the first-time, first-year students, the 4-year graduation target moved from 39% to 54%. The 6-year graduation target moved to 80.2%. And for transfer students, the 2-year graduation target increases to 56.2%. Those are ambitious goals, but we think our own progress gives us reason to be confident. We have already demonstrated that when we focus our collective efforts on student success, we can move those numbers, and more importantly, support our students in achieving their goals. And at the same time, we know there is more work ahead. We have not yet closed our equity gaps, and the persistence remains critical in reaching those new goals. So the challenge before us is not simply help more students graduate. It is to help all of our students persist, thrive, and reach their goals. The new targets begin with the fall 2027 cohort. We have a strong foundation, ambitious goals, and opportunity to keep moving forward together.
The framework aims to improve opportunity outcome gaps, strengthen career readiness, and advance social mobility for all CSU students. This includes supporting America's new majority learners, comprising of first-generation students, low-income students, and adult learners seeking to advance their careers. The vision is achieved through the following: providing personalized and collective experiences within a supportive community that prioritizes flexible and impactful learning opportunities, self-discovery, and holistic growth. Equipping students to achieve academic excellence, career success, and economic mobility through accessible, inclusive, and experiential learning environments. Developing curricular and co-curricular pathways for each student to graduate and excel in their careers and or further study, and preparing them to thrive as engaged learners and members of society. Fostering lifelong relationships with students and graduates by cultivating meaningful experiences with their university, alumni, and their communities.
So the framework is grounding in 5 guiding principles established to steer the approach and decision-making throughout this work. The first one, as you can see on the slide, student-centric. We center decisions, strategies, and actions around the needs, experiences, and aspirations of students, seeking to understand their perspectives and address their challenges and concerns. And next is equity-driven. We approach all aspects of the framework through an equity lens, identify and addressing disparities in our decisions, strategies, and action. And then data-informed. We use data to guide recommendations, refine our approaches, and measure outcomes. Collaborative. We fully engage CSU and statewide stakeholders while recognizing and accounting for the diversity and identity of each university. Transparent. We foster trust and accountability through open communication, ensuring that decision-making processes and actions are accessible and understandable. Those are not simply principles on paper. Those are intended to guide how we approach the work of student success and how we make decisions along the way. As we heard the vision, the framework creates alignment across the CSU while allowing for locally responsive approaches that honor the unique strengths and student populations of each university, including our very own here at Cal State Long Beach.
So the framework begins with a promise. Every student will graduate with the opportunity for a first career job and/or path to further study. This is our job, our challenge, and our opportunity. It is truly ambitious and will require all of us to imagine, innovative, and strategize how every student at the beach has access to these opportunities. It is a partnership with our students where our shared ecosystem will support the framework commitments. And Colleen, thank you for that ecosystem example. That was spot on.
So at the center of this framework, as you can see Jeff mentioned, it's very clear. Every CSU student will graduate with the opportunity for the first career job and/or a clear path for further study. And the statement is important because it expands how we think about student success. Graduation remains essential, but the promise asks us to think beyond that moment a student across the commencement stage. The promise tells us what we are trying to achieve. And the framework shared the commitments focus our effort on the areas that are essentials for supporting student success. Those 4 commitments are affordability, personalized journey to success, adaptive and responsive teaching and learning, and experiential learning. Those commitments are intended to make the promise real for every CSU student. And ultimately, the question becomes, what should students actually experience as a result of those commitments? Jeff will take us into the next part of the framework, the student experience.
So the framework is realized through the student experience. And this is what we hope for, that every student has an experience where they feel welcomed, affirmed, and supported, where their strengths are amplified and their needs addressed. An experience that they can identify as being meaningful and transformative. Every student in California will be able to afford the total cost of a CSU degree. Every student will have clear curricular and co-curricular pathways to their academic and career goals. Every student will experience an inclusive, accessible, and intentional teaching and learning environment. Every student will have a digitally enhanced, personalized, and streamlined experience to support timely degree completion. Every student will gain real-world skills and build professional networks through internships and experiential learning. We all have a part to play, from what I believe are the best students in the CSU, to our outstanding staff, our world-class faculty, our engaged alumni, and our amazing community. We all can contribute to student success, from recruitment to career and grad school, throughout the whole life cycle of the student.
So that is the experience we want every student to have. Welcomed, supported, able to thrive, and able to see their education as meaningful and transformative. So how do we make that experience real? The framework identifies 5 strategies, areas that help us to move from aspirations to implementation. So with cost of attendance, the goal is for students to experience fewer financial barriers that can delay degree completion or cause them to step out. That includes access to financial aid, affordable housing, transportation, and basic needs resources. With advising and pathway, students should experience coordinated and accurate guidance that connects their academic choices with their evolving career goals. Students should be able to access the academic, financial, and well-being support they need without having to navigate this connected system on their own. Teaching and learning, focusing on the experience in which students develop self-confidence, agency, knowledge, and skills they need to succeed academically and prepare for successful careers and become engaged member of society. It also emphasizes the meaningful connections with faculty, intellectual curiosity, professionalism, rigorous thinking, and thoughtful engagement with emerging technologies. The streamlined experience means making it easier for students to understand their progress towards degree, receiving timing and personalized guidance, assessing needed support, and navigate the university with fewer bureaucratic hurdles. And finally, skills and networks connect the university experience more directly with students' future. Students should have diverse and accessible opportunity for internships, experiential and hands-on learning, career-ready skills development, and professional network, including meaningful connections with alumni. So we think the most important way to view those 5 areas is not simply as the 5 administrative strategies. There are 5 dimensions of the experience we are trying to create for our students.
So these metrics are how we will assess our hoped-for outcomes. Some of these metrics we already look at, examine, and use to inform our work. And some we currently don't have the mechanisms in place to assess how we are doing in these areas, but we will figure it out because we always do. We're the beach. It is so important for us to remember when we focus on persistence, retention, and graduation rates, and all the other measures of success, we not only see what our students have accomplished, but the data are reflection points for us to consider how effectively we are serving our students and how that is showing up in the data. Not only do we want to reach our goals of 54%, 80%, and 56% respectively, we must ask ourselves about the 46%, the 20%, and the 14%. Who are the students that are going unmentioned? What must we do differently to support their success? What might we aspire to get us closer to the all students will have the opportunity to thrive, persist, and graduate? More to come on this.
And this brings us back to what may be the most important message of this framework. Student success is the outcome of our collective efforts. So that is the message we wanted to deliver to everybody today. We hope that as you have listened today, you have been able to see yourself in this work, because everyone has a part. Whether we work in teaching, advising, student success, student services, enrollment services, financial support, technology, operations, career development, graduate education, building services, administrative services managers, or any of the many other areas across the university, each of us shape some part of the student experience. From the moment a student first considers Cal State Long Beach, through their academic journey, through graduation, and into a career or further study, there are people across this university who help make that journey possible. No single person, office, college, or division can deliver student success alone. But together, we can create that environment in which students feel supported, persist toward their goals, graduate, and move successfully into what comes next. The CSU has given us a shared framework and a shared direction. Our responsibility at Cal State Long Beach is to bring that framework to life for our students. And that means translating those principles, commitments, and strategies into everyday decisions we make and the experiences we create for our students. So now we are moving on to call to action. So the framework gives us a shared promise. What comes next is our commitment to put that promise into practice. And with that, we invite you to join us to make that commitment.
Yes, as we advance in the success for all students, we hope you will join us in the CSU's Student Success Framework to put it into practice with the following guiding principles: to be student-centric, equity-driven, data-informed, collaborative, and transparent. By adding your name to this collective effort, please join us in supporting all students' ability to thrive and be successful. Pei Feng and I would like to thank you for your time this morning, and a special thanks to the Provost for allowing us this space to share the framework with you this morning.
Thank you very much for your time and attention. Now we transfer back to Provost Scissum Gunn. Thank you, everybody.
As you can see, the QR code remains available for your consideration. Go ahead and take your mobile phones out if you feel so inclined, because this is an example of how we will use various opportunities to pledge our commitment to this work, because ultimately this work is for our students. It is the very heart of our mission in advancing our purpose. So if you feel so inclined, and then this, it will remain shown as we conclude the program. I've already taken it myself. I whipped my cell phone out on yesterday as soon as I saw it. Wow, important times lie ahead. Exciting times lie ahead. Thank you all for attending the 2026 Convocation and helping us launch what promises to be a meaningful and impactful 2026-27 academic year. We wish you a year filled with success, prosperity, fulfillment, purpose, togetherness, collaboration, and joy. Let's inspire our campus community to move forward courageously, optimistically, and with a collective commitment to service for our students, for our community, and for one another. So this concludes our event. Thank you again, and as always, go Beach! Thank you, everybody.